rescue, restoration, and revival is the battle cry of Shore It Up. Shore It Up is Metro Pacific Investments Foundation's campaign to increase awareness and citizen involvement in cleaning up the planet.
Actually, Shore It Up means to support, to buttress. So, aside from being catchy, very meaningful yung pangalan niya. It started in 2009, the day after Ondoy. So that made me think, after seeing all the rubbish, we have to do something. And the next year that we decided to have Shore It Up in 2010, we made sure that we have more people involved. We're talking really about numbers. We have about more than 6,000 volunteers for the coastal cleanup, and then we have about 125 divers. Tapos madami ding gustong sumali sa tree planting, and ang pinaka-special na nangyari ngayon is the Junior Environmental Scouts. So we're starting to ingrain in the minds of young kids how to care for the environment and be proactive. We draw from the natural resources. So we feel we have a responsibility, and it's everyone's business to be responsible to take care of the environment.
The two-day activity was scheduled in conjunction with a global Clean Up the World weekend. The day started early. Coastal cleanup at Subic Bay Walk. 6,000 volunteers from MPIC companies, local companies, schools, and various organizations joined in.
Nature has been crying out loud and louder every year. And Metro Pacific, being part of the MVP group of companies, has responded. The Shore It Up is a call for everyone to be proactive, to share its resources, time and energy.
Data released by Ocean Conservation in 2012 on the Ocean Trash Index showed that 80% of the total debris found globally are made up of these top 10 items.
Before, yung ilog na katabi ng bahay namin, naliliguan pa namin. Pero ngayon, hindi na siya maliguan. Because of the dumi na coming also from other places because of the ilog.
One of the critical solutions for this problem is to stop the flow of trash at the source. And that is why Shore It Up has included a seminar on waste management.
We can't solve the in-water problem right now. It's almost impossible. But we can take giant steps forward. Such things as, first of all, if people understood what throwing trash in the rivers is going to end up in the ocean, if they understood that, and if they could see the damage being done, then they would have a tendency to cut back on doing such things like that, right? That's why we're working with MPIC. We want to be able to get a think tank put together, and we can discuss items, and we got to look at the big picture. You can't just look at one teeny part. You've got to look at all the pieces. We're saying we need some help, and this is the right group. The MPIC are the right group. They're perfect. They're in a stage where they're stepping forward and they're taking action, and that's what it takes.
In these times when our planet is already in great peril, what does it take to change the world? It takes both small steps and big steps. From cleaning up your own backyard to cleaning up the entire shoreline. From segregating your own family's trash to influencing big industries to clean up their acts. From one to many, from few to multitudes. Answering Mother Nature's call for help are the little heroes of Subic. And for them, Shore It Up prepared a special program for 100 junior environmental scouts.
Well, I always tell people that my biggest advocacy is not environment, it's not marine conservation, it's not global warming. I say it's global whining. So I tell people to stop global whining and just stop complaining so much and instead be more proactive. People have to realize that everything that we do, the decisions that we make every day, the choices that we make in terms of the products that we use, where we throw them away, it matters.
Shore It Up agrees with Anna that whining does not help, and what the environment needs is for people to act. And act Shore It Up volunteers did. Despite the pouring rain, the volunteers went out and did what they set out to do: plant 200 caballero trees.
Since 2005. So, every year, may target kami na 20,000 seedlings na i-reforest natin itong Subic Bay. Ang reforestation is very important to avoid erosion or siltation. And of course, ito din na nagsisilbing carbon sink o hinihigop niya yung carbon na ini-emit nating mga tao. Thank you very much, Shore It Up, at saka sa group of companies po ni MPIC. Mabuhay kayong lahat and keep it up.
It is said that action conquers fears. With its different activities, Shore It Up demonstrates how people moving together and voicing their concern through active participation can open more minds and more hearts. Another important component of Shore It Up 2012 was the installation of an artificial reef, an intervention for the poor state of fishery in the area.
Pagkat malaking tulong po sa amin po dahil yung plano nilang pagtatanim ng mga coral, artificial coral, ano po ito, makakatulong sa mga mangisda para dumami lalo ang mga isda na mauhuli rito.
The artificial reef installation was planned together with Johan Beach Resort and Dive Center, paparazzi.com, Holcim, and around 125 volunteer divers from MVP companies, local dive resorts, and the Coast Guard. Weeks before, the group made a requisite preparatory site visit and identified the project site. The site was approved by the municipality. All that was left to be done was the actual installation. Unfortunately, during the date of installation itself, the weather would not permit diving. Visibility was zero and currents were too dangerous. The activity had to be postponed for another day, but the volunteers refused to be disheartened. Not letting the weather dampen their sense of mission, the divers turned their enthusiastic energies to coastal cleanup. Such is the spirit behind Shore It Up. Metro Pacific Investments Foundation is committed to bringing positive changes to people's lives.
Natutuwa ako na nagko-continue at may mga programang ganito, and thanks to your group. Importante na hindi natin nakakalimutan ng mga ganitong proyekto, yung pag-clean up ng ating karagatan, yung ating shoreline.
Subic Bay, one of the most beautiful bay in the world, and of course we have our forest that we have preserved. So all I have to do is clean the area, and if we clean it, the tourists will come.
MPIF is committed to keeping the momentum going, reaching out to change the planet for the better. This is what it takes. If we are to turn the environment around, programs such as Shore It Up needs to continue and become even bigger and influence even more people to take action.
In 2013, which will be Shore It Up's 5th anniversary, we plan to take on a journey by going back to the places we've visited before. Anilao, Puerto Galera, Alaminos, Subic, and culminating all this will be in Siargao.
Gagawin ko ang aking bahagi sa pangangalaga ng inang kalikasan. Pag-iibayuhin ko ang aking kaalaman, makakatulong ako para sa mga susunod na henerasyon. At ito ang aking pangako.
Inspired by the enthusiasm of Shore It Up diver volunteers, 9 people from MPIC took diving lessons and got their diver certification. They will now be fully able to join all the activities for the next Shore It Up, including artificial reef installations and underwater cleanups. These 9 are now even more equipped as Shore It Up ambassadors who can share their stories, use their voices, and call on others to help save our seas.
Shore it up! 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 Shore it up!